Welcome back to the channel once again. It is Arsenal 1, PSG 1. PSG going to win the Champions League final 2025-26 season on penalties. And the game started in such a way that Arsenal got the lead, and therefore it played very, very well into their hands. They were able to sit back, compress the spaces, and restrict PSG from developing any sort of attacking threat. And I think PSG were also not very much on their game today. They were a bit lethargic in the way they played today. And I think that plays into how the game actually started, because PSG started much slower than Arsenal. Arsenal were very quick. They were ready for the fight. And that is how come the game went to extra time and eventually to penalties. And I was a bit disappointed with the performance of PSG because Arsenal didn't come to play. They came to do the same old shithousery, the same old let's engineer fouls, let's engineer corner kicks, and let's see if we can make a goal here or there and then stay solid, prevent them from creating chances, prevent them from getting a goal, and then maybe, just maybe, we might get away with a win in the Champions League. But I'm sorry, the Champions League doesn't work like that. The Champions League almost always goes in the favor of the team who comes in to take the game to the opponent, and who has actually done that throughout the entire season of the Champions League. If you look at the records, mostly the teams that have scored most in the course of the season, the teams that have played the exciting football, those that have played the big matches, those teams that have gone on the side of the draw that is more difficult, those are the teams that end up winning the Champions League. So I had no doubt in my mind that PSG were going to win this particular Champions League final, but I didn't expect Arsenal to be able to put up such a fight. And I think part of that, Arsenal was helped by the inability of PSG to really start the game fast and to be on their game. Absolutely. I don't think PSG were on their game very much. Arsenal got the goal. There were a couple of penalty shouts that came from PSG because I think there was a handball on Bukayo Saka, and who else? There was another handball. Was it on Bukayo Saka as well? So there were two near penalty calls for PSG in that first half. In the second half, PSG started much better. They came into the game. They tried to now engineer artificial transitions in the game. They were able to pull Arsenal apart a little bit, but they still weren't clinical enough. I think PSG squandered quite a bit of chances in this particular game. If you look at the second half alone, they had enough chances to score. Bradley Barcola came on. He had the same sort of situation that Kai Havertz scored from in that first half for Arsenal, but he managed to hit the side netting, and that is Bradley Barcola for you. He's not good enough when it comes to the final ball. That guy is not good enough, and I don't know why all the top teams in Europe are trying to get him. I really don't understand it, because that guy is not good enough. You can't do all the difficult work, dribble, use your pace, and when you get to the final third, you don't know what to do with the ball. For me, that is something that I absolutely hate to see. A player who can dribble, who can do all the hard work, go do the hard yards, and has a very atrocious final ball. It is quite awful to watch. So he's not a player that I rate very highly, and I think he showed why I don't rate him quite highly in this particular final. Eventually, PSG used some quick passing. They were able to get a penalty caused by Mosquera on Kvaratskhelia in the penalty area. It was a very clumsy challenge. He got a bit of the ball, but he had to go through the man first, and that is why I think that was a stonewall penalty for PSG. Dembele steps up to slot it home, and it is 1-1. Now Arsenal go on to even do a lot more of their shithousery. They keep hanging the ball in the air. at every opportunity they get, they just want to play the ball in the air, make sure it's a ding-dong battle. PSG can bring the ball under control. They themselves can bring the ball under control. And it's awful to watch. It was just totally awful to watch, basically. And what they were doing is that Arsenal were trying to play on the counter attack countlessly. Noni Madueke comes in to replace Bukayo Saka. And this guy, as part of the shithousery group of players that Mikel Arterta, the most shithousery manager in the world, has assembled, he comes in there and tries to engineer a penalty for himself by pulling himself down together with Nuno Mendes and shouting and wailing and complaining. Even Declan Rice, the captain or the future captain of Arsenal that I thought has a bit of class on himself, he proved me wrong today that he has no class, because the referee hadn't made any decision and he kept complaining. He ended up getting a yellow card together with the manager as well, who was jumping up and down the touchline. And I really don't understand why he continues to do that. Jumping up and down the touchline, it doesn't really make any difference. It is the tactics that actually makes a difference. So I think Mikel Arteta will be well served if he actually concentrates on playing good football and playing the right tactics that will earn him a Champions League and another Premier League trophy. Because you've won the Premier League, but the question now is, can you keep on going? Can you keep on winning it? Can you keep dominating it? So we live to see. That was the Champions League final. I was expecting PSG to win, so this doesn't come as a surprise to me, but I'm quite disappointed at how it turned out. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'll see you later on.